Hi everyone, so I am back today with a project that is part of the Best of Brits JJ collaboration, which is journal collaboration, and everyone has got like a buddy for the day, and my buddy is called Marie, and she is Crafty Landing on YouTube. I will link her below. I will also link the video that I done. That was a whole part of doing this. So you had to do a project using your buddies, something that they've already done, like a project on their channel. So I chose to do a envelope trifold, and I will link that below. Rach and Bella have got a wonderful junk journal kit called Whispers of the Manor, which has a 40% off during the whole collaboration, so go check that out. I will link, everything will be linked below. Check the hashtag out, Best of Brits JJ. That will show you all the journals, or all the projects I should say, that have been made to date, and you can like continue seeing that. And then on everyone's there's a link tree, which is there a link tree? I don't know if there's a link tree with this one. I'll have to have a look. But yeah, go check everyone out. Stay tuned and you can watch my process on how to make this. This was a load of fun, loved making it. The envelope with the patterned, the pattern paper, like sewing pattern paper, and also using the kit which was called Whispers of Manor. So yeah, stay tuned and carry on watching. So here we have the envelope, and for that I'm just going to glue down this side, even though I'm going to trim it all off, but it will make sense. So just adding a little bit of glue here, because this envelope is really old and the stickiness is not sticky anymore. Right, use your bond folder just to smush it down. And here I'm just going to slither. That's just obviously because there was a slight little like piece missing there. Then sorry about that, my son's not well. If you can hear him coughing, don't apologise. And we do here. Oh, paper trimmers just fell on me. And obviously my ruler's not big enough, so I'm just do that side. Now this envelope, I'll tell you the measurements of that in a second, obviously minus the sliver that I've just taken off. Right, so it measures 32 centimeters. I'm not sure what that is in inches, by 22.5 centimeters. So just let me move this. There we go. We'll move that somewhere else. Okay, right, so now we have two pieces and whatever that was in the envelope. Right, so I've just printed out this, okay, which is my square paper. I'm just gonna fold that over because I'm gonna just do like a traveler's notebook size TN to go in there. So that is gonna roughly be about just over 10 centimeters. Right, so we'll just do about here, and then I'm just going to draw a line down that because I need to use this, and it's not very sharp, and I haven't got any more blades at the moment, but I do have a little one of these. Sorry about the noise. See if that's any good. That's some of that. And if you've got a really good paper trimmer, you could use that. Mine isn't that great for cutting through this amount of paper. We nearly there. Oh, one more little piece. This is real life, folks. Things just take time. Ta-da. Okay, I don't like that little piece there, so I am just going to do that. And obviously, for some reason, that is quite quick. And if you're impatient, get the scissors out. Okay. There we go. I'm going to do the same there, but I'll just do that off camera so you don't have to watch that as well. So I've trimmed that down. Now I want to give this a little cover. So the reason I'm doing this first is so that I know how much of this I need to fold and how much is going to be the flap. Okay, so I want that. I do. That's ever so pretty, isn't it? So I might have to trim this down just a little bit more. So I'm just guessing this, like eyeballing it I should say, not really guessing. So about that much. I'm not a big measurer as such. If I can get away with not bringing the paper trimmer out, whoops, that's a little bit that I trimmed off, I shall. Okay, just squishing that down. And then here, I'm just going to rip that. Always keep your tails, the end bits. Right, so I'm just going to use some, just some paper, which I am just getting. Sorry, I just had to move away there. Just using another sheet of paper. I don't want a really hard cover for this because, you know, it's gone inside this trifold. So basically it's just going to be that. So I'm just going to glue that down there like so. Use your preferred glue. I kind of like it to be stuck down properly. And if you're not stitching, make sure you glue right to the edges. I shall be stitching. It's ever so windy outside here. It was lovely this afternoon, and then it literally all of a sudden it felt like there was a divorce. It was like things were blowing around, you know, the sun was out, and then everything was just blowing around like crazy. Had to get the washing in. There we go. I think I've got enough glue on that. I actually picked these up in the range. They're 49p. They're actually okay. I thought I'll try them, but they weren't with the normal like arts and crafts stuff. Well, not like the where I look in there. It was actually like with all the children's stuff. So that's where I found that. I love collage papers, they're just so versatile, and this kit is called, if I haven't already mentioned it at the beginning, it's called Whispers of the Manor, and there will be a link below for that, so you can go check that out. And there's 40% off during the collaboration, so that's excellent. 40% off, so don't walk, run over there. Whoops, this is what you don't want to happen. That's because I haven't left that to dry long enough, which I would normally, but because I'm doing the video, okay, I need to just break a little bit of that off so that I got a sharper piece. Let's see if we can do that. No, I can't even do it by hand. So these are actually my little bead and jewellery maker pliers. Right, they should be better now. There we go, that's better. A blunt blade is no good. There we go. And then this little bit here, we just trim off. Now, like I said, I would normally let that dry. Well, I'm not gonna, but I do need to trim that little piece away where it kind of... Right, I'm just going to go and stitch all around that and I shall be back. So there we go, I stitched all around that. It's easy to see that side actually. I just used a white cotton. Now this is going to be for myself, and I prefer using squared paper because when I write on blank paper, I tend to, when I'm writing, I find it hard to go in a straight line. I end up going down like that. I don't know what that is. There's probably a name for that. Oh, that actually fits neat. Or maybe just a sliver, but well, I'm not going to bother because it's for me. Right, so some linen thread. It is waxed, but not waxy enough for my liking. So this is just beeswax. It wasn't a block, and it was all breaking up, so I just put it in a little silicone cupcake thing and put it in the microwave for a bit so that it would melt all together again. And we need, what do we need? We need a needle, which I thought I had one, and oh no, that I did. I thought I'd lost it. So just thread that through, and I am just going to eyeball this, but actually I won't. I'll be good for the video. So that is 8 inches, and we will find the center, which is here, and then I'm going to go at 2, and I'm talking like this because the needle is in my mouth. Okay, right, and I'm just going to, it's quite thick. Oh. And normally that I could do like 15 pages through this. I think there is only 7. It wouldn't go through. There we go. It goes through. You know, everybody's got their own way of doing this. This is mine. And there we go. So I go in through the middle, in through the top or the bottom, pull it through. You can go in this way or you can go in that way. We shall go in that way. Trying not to go through the linen thread that's already there, because it will break through the fibres and you won't be able to pull it properly. That's what I find anyway. So making sure it's all pulled through nice and neatly. We are going to tie that in a double knot, and I will leave that long, and I normally pull it down to the bottom so that I also know what's the top and what's the bottom. So an indicator for me in case I start gluing pockets and things into journals like upside down, which I've done before. And then I'll decide whether I'm just going to tie it in a bow or add some dangles or just some little love hearts or anything if I was doing another type of journal, but I might add some beads onto this. So right, now that I've done that, we can get back to the actual thing. Right, so that I will be putting like some elastic through that so that I can take this out, but you can sew it straight into the trifold. So right, so that's that away. Might just do a little bit more, and then here, because obviously we know we want a bit of space, and then that will come over like so. That's a little bit skewiffy. There we go. Right, so then that will be in like that, and that's all that way and that way. Right, let's do some collaging, or are we going to do it on the shiny side? Yes, we are. So here I've got a pattern, so I kind of need that way because that's going to come that way. Right, but first of all, I am going to trim that down just a little bit as well, because I don't need it to be that big. Sorry if you can hear my fan, but oh, I'm very hot. So we'll do that, okay? And there we go. That just glided through. Yeah, we'll do the shiny side. Right, so I got this pattern. I got loads of them. Didn't realise how many I had. And we're going to use that. That is what she used in a video. Obviously not this same one, but I need to reinforce here and here. I'm just going to get some fabric for that. Okay, so I found 2 pieces of cotton, and that will be good to reinforce that. So I'm just going to put some of this glue on here. This is the super tacky glue from the range here in the UK. And I'll do that. And then I'll just kind of smush that down with my finger. And at this point it's good to have a baby wipe. Right, so there we go, and we'll do the same here. You can use whatever glue you like. I actually forgot to put the lid on this the last time I used it, so it's a little bit blocked up. I'd put the lid on but not properly. There we go. Right, where did that go? There it is. Just pull away the straggly bits and leave that to dry just for a few minutes. Right, so that's dry. Well, I hope it is. Just going to trim that off. You can use masking tape if you don't want to use fabric or you don't have fabric. Okay, right, so just try and remember that this is my front, right, so that's my front, that's the flap that going over the back, and I'm just going to use, you can again use whatever glue you want. I prefer doing this with these, and that's just another one I pulled out just in case. Right, so we're just going to get this all over the place. It's actually quite a thin folder, but once this is all collaged on, it will kind of stiffen it up a little bit. And then obviously there's still going to be the backing on there as well. So let me just do all this and then I'll be back because it's going to take a while. So we've done that, and I used that one. It was easier because it's bigger. Right, so I'm just going to come in with these pieces that I have, and I'm going to kind of scrunch them up, and I'm going to do mine a little bit like, lift that up if you want it a little bit more scrunchy and stuff. These little bits that are like that, I can glue them down afterwards. And here we go. This is, let's scrunch it up, which helps a little bit. Put a little bit of glue on here so that will stick down. I'll just run a bit in there. There we go, that was easy, wasn't it? I could have tore little bits up, but you know what, I might actually put some more bits on top of that. Ooh, this was a belt. Right, I'm just going to put some more on there. This should be fine. got loads of these, and I've always been like, what am I going to do with them? Now I know what I can do. Scrunch it up. There we go. Now you really need to let this dry. It will dry quick. It's not going to take ages to dry because it's glue stick. If you're maybe using a wet medium, like a wet glue, like say something like this, would take a while, or like a matte one, or a gel medium. They don't take that long, to be fair. Right, so I'm just going to let that dry, and then when it's dry, I'm going to trim off around the edges. Okay, so that's all dry, and I've got some. I've started trimming stuff off camera. I thought, right, stop what you're doing. First of all, I'm gonna. Oh, I've hid this. I just want to like do this now so that I know where my lines are, like where my folds are, I should say. Just a good indicator. And there we go. Okay, so now we are going to trace out some holes here and there, and I want to use that image behind here somewhere. I'm not going to be doing like weird shapes, right, because my brain doesn't work well with that. I'm going to be, sorry about that. So I'm just gonna be making a little pencil mark like right here, and I can't really see that. Let's see. Here we go. And then about, actually I'm going to do it here. It's going to get cut out anyway, so no panicking there. Right, so I'm just gonna there. Now you could at this point, if you wanted to, you could gesso this and maybe change it up a little bit. Right, here is better because I can see better there because of all the pattern on the front. And we can use that for something else. Something else, folks. Right, so let me see, is this going to fit on there? Yes, it is. I'm going to put her in there because she's cute. First of all, I am going to find my glue. Where's that gone? Oh, there it is. As you can see, I've used various different glues, but just use what you have. Hopefully this isn't all like blocked up. I was going to say sticky. I want it to be sticky. Right. Now Maria used, she kind of done like not straight lines sort of thing. Right, so I'm just going to put that on there like so. It did actually mean to stretch around there, silly me. I can still do that, I'll just cover it over and do it. And then here, because we don't really need that part, I will just do that and tear it off. Right, on here I'm just going to go a little, just going to do a little kind of squarish. You could use die cuts if you wanted to, but I'm not, obviously. So and like I say, you can keep all these little pieces that you're cutting out. There's no need for them to be going in the bin. This is why I've got so many scrap boxes because I don't throw away nothing. Right, this, what should we do here? Should we do a long one? Yeah, let's do a long one, a little long one, about that size. Don't know if you can hear that wind. Let me know if you can hear the wind. There we go. That needs gluing down a little bit. So we will do that. Okay, so that's these little bits and that needs gluing down. We'll do that up the way. There we go. And that's the conkers falling off the tree. If you heard that. It's rather noisy around here. Right, so just thinking, do we want that? No. Want a bit of blue on there. Yep, we'll have a piece of that. And she's cute, isn't she? Right, so on with the blue again. Oh, something just went flying over there. Right, and help if it was the right way around, wouldn't it? So, do it that way, right there, and trim that little piece off. And then here, I think we'll just do like, oh, that's nice, isn't it? That's perfect. Perfect. Right. Just put the glue around. I'll have to wait for that to dry as well because I am going to stitch around all the little pieces. Right, so how cool is that? And it will kind of make it pop by stitching around. And if you don't have a sewing machine or you don't like sewing, you could just use like a black marker and do like full stitching if you like. And down here I might just do a long one, again a long thin one. And about here. And in with the little craft knife. You could do it any shapes that you want. There we go. Right, let's find a little piece that's not at all. That could be perfect. Perfect. On with the glue. And there we go. And we'll just trim. And where else do we need to trim? About here. Keep these little pieces. Right, so I'm going to let that dry for a few minutes, and then I'm going to go around and stitch. I may do a zigzag stitch all the way around these, and I'll come back and show you that. Okay, so printed these papers off from Whispers of the Manor, and I'm going to make some pockets and stuff. Right, so here I'm not going to measure. I'm not going to measure. We are just going to go and fold. You can measure if you like. I accidentally printed this out on normal copy paper. I wouldn't normally. I'd normally use the Navigator paper, but it was just my mistake. So, and this is for me. If I was going to be selling it, I wouldn't have used this paper, that type of paper. Right, so that's that, like so, and we're going to do another pocket on there, which actually I might just keep that a nice little thin double pocket. Like so, and measure that, and then I use my tab punch because my circle punches are rubbish, just to sort of centered that there. There we go. Now, I haven't stitched around that yet, and we are just going to, oops, that paper was stuck to that. Just a little bit of light inking up. Now what I might do actually is just back that with just some more copy paper and then stitch around it, because obviously I don't want to trust it to be that thin. I'm having problems with my glue tonight. There we go. There we go, and I will just trim that. And that. There we go, and then obviously I need to punch that little hole out. So if you ever do that, like make a mistake and use the wrong paper to print on, just back it up with some copy paper. It just, I think mine is like 90 GSM. I'm not sure what that is in pounds. We don't do pounds over here. So I'm going to go and stitch around all of them, and then I will glue that on top of there, but I'm going to stitch around that as well. Okay, that's that done. Not sturdier now, all stitched, and we will put that on there. And that is giving us a double pocket. Whoops, sliding about. That's just given us a double pocket to put things in. And let's put that down. So I'm just gluing around 3 sides so that we have that side pocket. There we go, just leave that down. It's just easier when I have to keep shaking it to get the glue out. So, really windy. My door's making noises. It's like spooky season in here right now. Wind and doors squeaking and just waiting for the cat to start. Right, on here we shall, what shall we do? What shall we do? No, I'm gonna keep to the blue. I really do like that. And what I might do, because I didn't print that full size, I could do that and then connect a pocket to it. So don't ever worry about your papers not being like the right length. If you can add a pocket to it, just like what I'm going to do. Right, so that's, I'm just making sure, yep, about here. And then we will find some other paper. What's that? Could very well just use that. Obviously this bit's coming off at the bottom. And we'll just neaten that up just a little bit. We're going to put a little punch mark there. We'll ink that up. Really need to replace my ink pads. They're quite expensive. I couldn't believe. I did look the other day and it was like, when I first started buying these, they were like $3.99. Now I'm seeing them, they're nearly £10. I mean, it was 14 years ago I was buying them for $3.99. Right, that's the right way up. And I'm just going to, now we could create another notch in there for a top pocket, which I shall do, because why not? Opportunities. And again, just link that up. Alright, so we'll match that there. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here and here. And then that's kind of, could pull that up a little bit. There we go. I'll let that dry. My nail's all covered in ink now. Let that dry and I'll just stitch, oops, without moving it. There we go. I will stitch all the way around there like that. So I'm just going to use one of these tags as a pocket from this tag page. Just thought I'd show you that. Right. Now that's going to get, the tag part is going to get taken off. That just fit that perfectly. And we'll put a little notch in there. What's the right? Oh, it's not really any. Oh, that way looks better. Didn't know whether there was a specific up, down, or left or right to that. And we will just glue that little tiny bit of glue there because I'm going to stitch all around. I'm not gonna create a pocket because I'll just put like little notes and stuff in there. Right, let me go. Well, let that set for just a few minutes and then I'll stitch it. There we go, all stitched. And we're gluing that down completely. I've got gluey fingers. There we go, making sure there's enough glue around the edges. And there we go. Okay, I'm happy with that. Right, now I'm going to go and get some stuff and I'll make some tags and journal cards to pop into the pockets. And don't forget here, it's cute, isn't it? Right, loving this blue. I do love blue. It's one of my favourite like colours of papers to play around with these days. Right, let me go and get some stuff and I'll make some tags. Okay, right, index card. Got this lovely piece of paper still left over. I'm just gonna put it straight on there. What shall we use? We'll use a glue. Whoops, didn't want to do that. Use a glue stick. I could have like done lots of little collaging, but I don't want this video to be super long. Right, so oops, we shall put that on here. There we go. Got so much mess now. Right. Right, that is going to sit in there lovely. In fact, I might just trim a little bit off this top bit. So I shall. Let's have a little look. Perfect, and I will, what should we do here? Just looking for bits of paper now, just to put a tab on there. I actually just want a plain tab because it's getting, I'll just turn it around that way and ink that up. Fold it over. We'll ink this up as well. And glue that on. What I'll do is I'll make a couple of things and then I'll stitch them all in the one go. So that will get stitched in a minute. Right now I've got these. Which one? I'll use that one. And I'll ink around that. Right. And I'm just going to put that on there. I don't know where that funny voice came from, but right. And that's the paper that was printed on the thinner paper. So there we go. going to get some cardstock and build that up a little bit. I've been buying my cardstock from B&M's lately, £2 for A4, 32 sheets, 210 GSM, so it's nice and thick. And they also do the bigger size as well, which is good. Right. This thing's blowing around all over the place outside. Right. Right. Kind of liking the white in that, and because might ink it up actually, I don't know, we'll see. And then we'll just ink up around the edges. Right, so that's one little tag, and whoops, just thinking that can go in there. I want another tag and another tag, so I'm going to just clear some stuff out of the way so I can actually do something. How many times do you clear your desk when you're making a project? Me, in a day when I'm in here, I can clear the desk about 5 or 6 times because of the mess that I make, and then I end up with no room to actually do anything. Right. That will go in there, and we want that to be about that size. Oops, maybe a little bit shorter now because the blade bent. Yeah, straighten that up a little bit. There we go. Right, let's find some paper. I don't want any more of that one. This is where I might use this and just break it up. That is a pretty paper, isn't it? Oh dear, it's because the paper's thin. Right, I'm not going to cut the tabs on the corners. I'm going to have just a big long tag. Right. Go, and we'll put a tab on that. one's nice, it's got some writing on there. Right, so that will go in there. I am going to stitch it, and I'll punch a hole in that one as well and thread some cotton or something through there. That will go in there, and we need something for in here. Let's see. Right, so we need to make something for in here. So I printed this off, and I'm going to make a little booklet, I shall. So I'm going to get some coffee dyed paper, and what do I do before that? I wonder. Right, let's see. That's going to sit in there nicely. Yes, it shall. And we shall glue that on. Where's my pencil? Right, we will just sew that in, sew the little signature in, just with some linen thread, wax it up, whoops. There we go. So it's just a little booklet, a couple of pages, not measuring, just in the middle, and then either side. My window's just blown open because it's crazy windy. So I run out of memory there, and I had to go and back things up and delete things. Anyway, right, I'm making this little notepad. There we go. Right, and I did do a few things whilst I was waiting. So that just slips in there. So we've got that there. I made that, and therefore I'm going to put that in there now. I'm still going to stitch around everything, but I'm just like putting everything in its place right now. I will put a tab on that as well, and I just done that. That will go in there like so. Again, I will put a tab on that. So let's find the tabs. So we need one there, and I'm going to pop a hole in there. All right. Right, just ink up there. That was from one of the collage pages. It was from the same one that I made the little booklet with. So it was this. I must remember to put the lids on these, because like in between that last video and now, I actually went and made dinner and didn't put the lid on it. Alright, this one. So that's going in there, and that's going in there. It's kind of, there we go. Right, so now I'm going to take all them out and I'm going to go and stitch them all, and then I'll be back. Okay, everything has been stitched, so we'll just pop it all back in. The booklet goes in there, big tag in here, skinny tag in there. Don't want to go in then. Right, we've still got to deal with that. Right, so a little bit of cotton, or actually I might just use, because that will cause some bulk, I'm going to use a little bit of this. And we will tie that in a bow. And that will go there. Oh, that's quite nice actually, with that just kind of sticking out there. But it does it go? Oh, it does actually go that way as well. It would work that way. I had a little panic then. Right. What's I going to do? Where's the actual... Right. I'm just going to get some beads. I'm just going to thread some beads onto that, nothing special. Okay. Let's move that out of the way just for a second. So I've got some blue beads in here. Sit that there. I've got some clear, and I don't know what else actually. That's if they'll feed through, to be honest. I don't think that will. It won't feed through. That will. Hopefully that will, and that will. And I like that blue one here. Right, let's see how that goes. And if that don't work, then I'm not using anything. Right, so yeah, we will start off with little blue one. And now I've got to be able to see if I can see. There we go, without my head getting in the way. And I need to wax that a little bit more. Just on the ends. That kind of helps feed it through as well. Well, I'm hoping it will. It did. And we will put one of these kind of that's not a bit more wax on that. This will probably take longer than the whole project. It went through, and we'll have that bead on there. That should go through no problems, she says. Yeah. There we go. So just about here I'm going to tie a couple of little knots, like a knot on top of a knot. Right, got interrupted then. Yeah, we just want that knot big enough so that the beads obviously are not going to slip off, which that isn't. And I'll do the same here. So I need another little bead here. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, I need to wax it up. Just at the edge there so that it, because it kind of splays open a little bit. Right. Then the glass bead, well, fake glass. And this one should go through no problem. No, it doesn't. It doesn't want to. Okay. Oh, that's not actually that great, that one. Hang on a sec. One of these will do nicely. Honestly, this is taking longer than anything else. There we go. Right. So, again, with a couple of knots, like on top of each other, so the beads don't fall off. There we go. Just check that that's not going to come off of there. I might do one more on that. There we go. So we've got them, a little notebook. Right, now I've got to go and find my elastics. First of all, I'm going to put an eyelet through there. I'm not putting a button on mine. I'm not overly keen on that method with a button, probably because of the way I do it. It's just, it always ends up like tearing off or something. Right, so we shall, can I go in that way? Nope, I'll just go in that way. Put the eyelet in. Whoops, it just fell out of there. The reason I've got my hand under there is because I don't want to end up piercing the tags that I've got in there and the journal card. There we go. Right, let me go find the elastics. Guess what? I can't find my elastics. So what I'm going to do is, just because I could be there all night trying to find them. I've got white and black, and it's like the really thin. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to do this for now, and tie it in a knot. Yeah, I want some slack on it. I don't want it like completely tight. And we'll just tie that in a knot. And I'm just going to slip it round here, and I'm going to tie a little bow just like that. And right, where's the book? And that will just slide in the middle. I've got some like threads there, we shall cut them off. So that will hold that in place, and then I've got some more of this. It's going to go down, and we will feed that through. There we go, so that will fold in. This will go behind that. I actually think that that might be good going through there twice, if I have enough room. Right. Through there, and we can tie right now. I'm not keen on this being like a bow on here. I'm gonna just trim that off, and I'm gonna feed that. I'll feed that back through. So I've got a couple of little pieces here that I'm going to kind of use as like washi tape, just to kind of add on to the cover, because it's obviously very kind of like neutral. So, and these are just little leftover pieces. And we've got that there, we'll ink that up. Right. And you can use whatever glue you like. And then on here we could just a little bit on the top. Maybe a little bit here, down there. Yes, why not? And then a little piece in here. Should we have that running up there? Nope. What I do want to tear down here, could just use normal washi tape, in whatever colour you choose to make these things in. Actually, we'll do it that way. So there we go. I enjoyed doing this. I'm gonna pull around a little bit more. I'll have a proper look for this, my elastic, to put that in there, but that's just temporary. And a nice easy peasy little project to do with envelopes and what do you call that stuff, pattern paper. I'm just going to do that for now. Everyone will be linked below, so please go and check them out. You will find Crafty Landings kit. That's Marie. Is it Maria? Marie? Marie. Her YouTube will be linked below. Go check it out. Give her a follow, please. And check out the kit from Rach and Bella Crafts, which has got 40% off. And it is called Whispers of the Manor. And check out, go to the hashtag that's on the title of this video, which is Best of Brits JJ, which is Junk Journal, and you will see all the other participants. So thanks for watching. I'm really running out of space on my phone to do this. Go check everyone out. The kit will be linked below, which has got 40% off, and it's called Whispers of the Manor. Check out the hashtag Best of Brits JJ. That will show you all the journals, all the projects, sorry, that have been made so far to date, and you can keep checking on that. And I want to thank Rach and Bella for organising yet another fantastic collaboration with a great host of creators involved in that. So yay again to that. So yes, if you do have any questions, just ask, and thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.